Hey everyone, it's been a quiet, what has it been now, 8 months for this channel, and yeah, that's because I bought a house that needed a lot of work doing to it, and a side effect of having to do a lot of work to this house is, not only has my gaming time gone down and my YouTube time gone down, but it actually got to the point that I wasn't even able to read the patch notes anymore. So whenever I'd log into the game, I'd see people talking about things, and I'd be like, what on earth is this? What are they talking about? This is all gobbledygook to me. And I figured, you know what? Once enough time has passed, I might as well do a video just covering all of the stuff in the patch notes that I just completely gone over my head. So if you're in a similar situation, people are talking about things that you're just completely unaware of. Maybe you've not been keeping up on the patch notes. Maybe you took a year off, as it appears that I seem to be mostly doing at the moment, besides the occasional 10 minutes here and there. So, if you're interested, stick around. We're going to be going through the past year's worth of updates. Now, don't worry, we're not going to be going through every single minute detail, reading through every single little line, because that would just be exhausting. That would be exhausting on all of us. I don't think I could do a video like that. It'd just be too boring. So stick around, hit that subscribe button, and we are going to get moving onto the patch notes. So we're going to be starting off all the way back on the 5th of June. We might as well go back an entire year at this point, let's be honest. So going back to the 5th of June, quite simple really, this one. I'm going to have it up on the left-hand side, so you can read it all if you want. But to summarise this one, the 5th of June, we got Corp Tech Level 7 and Corporation Tech. Those were the Ansiblex Gate Bridge distance increase. Hit points increase for structure and armour. Corp size limit was increased to 80. Increase in the number of capturable systems by 3. And reverse engineering and manufacture of tactical defence implants was unlocked. I'm not entirely sure I said defence correctly there, but there's going to be a few tongue twisters. I'm out of practice, let's be honest, I'm out of practice. And of course we have all of the rest that you can see up on screen right now. Pause it if you want to read it, but we are going to be moving on because we do not want this video to take an eternity. So moving on from that, we have the 19th of June. Here we got the new bomber battleships, Abaddon, Hyperion, Maelstrom and Roke. Missile launcher bombs and bomb ammunition and bomb skills, all of the bomb related stuff. And if I am not mistaken, we also got the ability to launch bombs from the actual stealth bombers. If not in this particular update, then in an update that followed it. My memory's not that good and I don't appear to have written that down anywhere. So hopefully that's right. Yeah. Anyway. Stealth bomber bombs, you can do it in regular stealth bombers by now. I don't know where it appeared in the patch notes, but we've covered that bit anyway. See, we're doing well, aren't we? That's already 2 patch notes in. It's amazing how long people draw out patch notes videos for. So I am going to move on to the next page because Netease does not do a very nice job of organising their website for patch notes. It'd be just nice to have a nice long page with all the links on, instead of spreading it out as they do. So moving on to the 2nd of July, Citadels can now shoot in defensive operations when manning the guns. So now you can get a guy to just hop on the guns to help defend a citadel. Always seemed a bit bizarre that they never included that to begin with. I mean, mechanically speaking, it was already there with Capsuleer outposts. They just had to do the permissions bit. So yeah, why didn't they include that earlier? I don't know. But again, you can skip through all of this if you want. There were some balance adjustments, optimizations, quite a lot of bugs. So yeah, let's move on to the next one, which was on the 17th of July. Yeah, this one got quite a lot of attention, if I recall, because it was the Super Mecha Champions collaboration event, which saw new drones and fighters and waifu skins. Yeah, they were really pushing Super Mecha Champions. I don't know how many of you actually played the game as a result of this collab event. I know at least 1 or 2 of the content creators did, just for the hell of it. yeah, I I can't say I played this game. I mean, just look at those pictures. Just look at those pictures. How out of place are these humanoid-shaped mecha robots flying around as fighters and drones? And yeah. Anyway, if you want to know how to get a hold of these skins and stuff in game, I don't know the answer. I honestly don't know the answer. Let's move on because I don't think these were game changing at all. It was just a collab event and you can still see the stuff in game. I don't think there was anything amazing about them apart from the shapes and colours. So let's move on to the next one, which was on the 31st of July. So moving on to that one. So we had siege mode on battleships, that being the striker battleships and the Navy issue battleships, were replaced with a module, and a bonus mid slot was provided for that module to go in. You don't have to put that module in the mid slot if you weren't using the striker siege mode, whatever you want to call it, on the battleship to start with. Then congratulations, you got a bonus free mid slot for, I don't know, group repairs or running Nosferatus, neutralizers, electronic warfare, whatever it is, we also saw the initial corp member limit change from 50 to 200 members, with the skill corporation, skill management, whatever it's called, it's somewhere on this page, being outright removed. And you got your skill points back if you had it trained. So yeah, now you don't have to have an alt with dedicated corp skills just to run the corp. If somebody wants to change hands, you don't lose membership when the corp changes hands, with who's running the corp. Makes perfect sense in the long run, so I'm not complaining. We got some optimizations and bug fixes as well. Feel free to pause, as I said earlier, if you want to actually read them. But from here on out, things seem to start speeding up a little bit when it comes to releases. So let's go to the 28th of August, because here we have moon mining, which was introduced altogether. You got a corporation structure, which essentially just blew up a moon somewhere, and a bunch of moon rocks would just appear in space. And you went out and mined it, and to get that structure, you needed to unlock that particular corporation tech. That's the extent of my knowledge, and most of that is from reading this page. I think I've taken part in one moon mining event so far, and that was around the time of release, just to see what it was like. Yeah, as I said earlier, I've not played the game a massive amount this year. But anyway, we got moon mining. With it came new ore and minerals, as we'd expect. Reprocessing skills. We got new destroyers, new faction battleships. Again, feel free to pause this page at some point or navigate it to it yourself if you want to at any point. Yeah, there was quite a lot of stuff on this page. But again, I'm trying to summarise all of this. I don't want to be reading through every single thing on every single page. So let's skip to the next one, which was on the 11th of September, which is a whole other page. Yeah. I wish this was so much easier to scroll through. So on this one, we got a great many balance adjustments. Great many. Yeah. And the Relic Scramble event was launched. Yeah, as I scroll through all of the balance adjustments, I'm looking for the event. Relics Scramble. Oh, yeah. So, Relic Scramble, I believe that's still open. I'm just going to pull it up on my phone right now. I think that never actually closed, did it? Let's have a look. Relic Scramble, 4th of September to the 30th of June. Oh, it does actually have an end date on it. I wonder if that's actually going to end or if they're just going to extend that, because its event is just long term. It literally just says event duration long term. Does that mean it expires at the end of this month? I honestly don't know, but hey ho, that event is still ongoing, and this is when it started. Really, you can read all about it on this page. And yeah, let's move on to the next patch notes. So the next one is on the 25th of the month. Nice and easy to find it, at least. So with this one, we've got new implants. Kinetic Burst, which was railguns. and the multi-frequency crystal, which was lasers. Again, you can read about it all on screen. I don't really know much about railguns, but I do know the multi-frequency crystal in EVE Online was like one of the short-range crystals for your lasers. And this appears to have the same sort of thing, increasing laser damage at the cost of... or is it? Passively increasing laser EM damage and optimal range, but reducing accuracy. Okay, that's weird. That kind of conflicts with my brain. I'm not going to read too much into that. But yeah, it does operate slightly differently to multi-frequency in EVE Online. Again, we have balance adjustments, balance updates, we have new events, navigator programs, bug fixes, optimizations, yada yada yada. Let's move on to the next one. The 10th. Not the 10th, I'm reading dates backwards now. I'm reading American. What are you guys doing to me? It just fries my brain, like looking at dates when they're written in American. Why can't you just go day, month, year? Like, please make things simple for me. Anyway, little rant over. 9th of October. Let's click on the correct one. So, 9th of October, we got the game engine update. 32-bit devices are no longer supported. Of course, it says that at the bottom here. I'm just going to highlight it. So if you have an older device and you're looking at getting back into the game, check to see if it supports 64-bit apps, because if it doesn't, you're probably going to struggle getting back into the game until you buy a new device or decide to do what a bunch of other people do that never made sense to me, which was put it on your computer and play a mobile game on your computer. That concept still blows my mind because you still have PC game version for playing on the computer. See where I'm coming from? Anyway, that's another rant aside. So let's move on. That's all that was of note on that particular update. The fact that older devices are losing access to the game. For me, that doesn't really impact me a great deal because the only spare device I have lying around literally doesn't recognise Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, mobile data, traditional mobile networks. Yeah, it doesn't accept any form of wireless communication, so it doesn't matter that it's 32-bit only. Yay! Yeah, something good came out of that device going kaboom. Moving on, 23rd of October. Yeah, I can read months. I can read months, right. We have new ships, Concorde, Pacifier, Enforcer and Marshall. So I read Concorde like it was a new ship then. No, that is the ship... Not class. Faction. There we go. I'm trying to remember words here. It's not as easy as it looks. So, new modules, the Shield Field Inhibitor and Armor Link Disruptor. New light fighter rigs. Yeah. The modules do look interesting looking at them. The ability to like tear apart a shield field or disrupt the armor links, you know, kind of break up the enemy logistics a little bit. I do like the idea of that. Where does it actually mention those on this particular update? Let's have a look. So, drone combat, blah, blah, blah. Sorry guys, I'm making this very boring to read right now, aren't I? I don't... Oh, here we go. New modules. This is dyslexia for you. You can go past the same word so many times and never actually see it. But there we go. New modules. It's on that page. I'm sure I've scrolled to the bottom already, so you can pause it at the right point if you want to. Let's move on to the 6th of November, which I literally just have written down as roadmap. That's all I have written down, just roadmap. I don't believe there'll have been anything big. Here we go. So, yeah, we just have roadmap, just questions and answers. Not that many of them. Pause it if you want to read it, but we're going to move on. I'm not going to be going through all of that because roadmaps could mean anything. Remember when we had Trello? Trello was our roadmap, and it wasn't always... You know, it wasn't always right. And sometimes they'd just put vague words in there. They'd literally just put nanocore. And we'd be like scratching our heads going, what's a nanocore? Is it an extra mid slot? Is it an extra low slot? It wasn't either, was it? Except in rare cases with certain nanocores. But let's move along to the 19th or 20th of November, depending on which date I'm reading. Yeah, why can't they just put one date? So in this one, we have new modules, the Capital Ship Damage Control. So just a damage control unit for the capital ship. If I recall, this actually breaks apart when you use it. Does it actually say on here? Or is this just me making things up? Honestly, I can't remember. That might have come in somewhere else because I'm not seeing it anywhere on here. Moving on, we have new lightweight ships, those being destroyers, new rigs for drones and cargo, and we have new character portrait image options. Yay! Yeah, no. I don't think I even bothered changing my character's portrait because it just feels like having a stranger looking back at me. It just wouldn't work. I'm attached to this character portrait now. So, moving on, the 18th of December, so a week before Crimbo, we had many balance updates. Many balance updates. Let's just see how many. Okay, so while I'm scrolling, alpha players can no longer use planetary production. Ah, yeah, that was a thing because of like alpha players just like populating HiSec and just infinitely mining ridiculous amounts of PI that couldn't be stolen, couldn't be interrupted, and it doesn't matter if HiSec PI is really, really bad because if you've botted like 50 accounts to harvest PI, that's a ridiculous amount of PI, let's be honest. So here we go. Planetary production. Currently, novice capsuleers can only mine a negligible amount of planetary resources, but it was being violated. So further down we have alpha clones will no longer be able to use the planetary production feature. So the first restriction we saw way back when for that one was them not being able to do it in nullsec. Now alphas can't do it at all in the game. So yeah, I did notice this one on a character that I started up sometime last year. I just logged into it one day and I was like, I can't fund the character anymore with PI. Turns out you can still fund a regular alt character just using Concord Pass anyway, so I was able to get it up to basic Omega regardless. But hey ho, planetary production, you can't do that anymore. Oh, and I might have clicked away on the left, but there was also a new PI module, the Advanced Resource Extraction Management Center. What's one hell of a mouthful. And I've put in brackets 16 billion ISK. That's what it was when I wrote it down, which was probably a couple of weeks ago now. But yeah, this is a new PI module for your Capsuleer Outpost. It does give you some more, planets and arrays to harvest PI, so you can get even more out of your planets. However, it's 16 billion ISK. It's not for everybody, okay? It is not for everybody. And if I recall correctly, it requires a basic resource extraction management center just to be able to make the thing. And if your skills are far, far, far too low, then you need 2 of them. But I don't think you'll be using 2 to make one, because you'll know someone that can make one with just 1. I mean, that's how the game works. Moving on to the 1st of January, so coming into this year now, we have the new structure, the Fortizar. Now, I remember, it must have been like 4 months before I actually found out what the Fortizar was, because I kept on seeing discussions about it, but at this point in time, I wasn't even following YouTube. I wasn't following the Echoes of New Eden podcast or anything like that, so I had no idea what people were talking about when it came to the Fortizar. But it turns out the Fortizar is a structure, a citadel, that can jump around. It can literally jump. Let's have a look here. Structure jump drive systems to meet diverse needs. Territorial claim units, so the ability to claim SOV by the looks of it. It's a highly unusual structure. It's got its own thing going for it, I guess. Just imagine being able to deploy a citadel in enemy territory. Sounds quite a good idea. until you realise that there's NPC stations in pretty much every single territory. Once you realise that you can get a staging in any alliance's territory just by going to an NPC station, you realise there are limitations to how useful the 4-star can be. I mean, it does have its uses, but it's not game-changing from what I'm seeing. So let's move on, because this is not meant to be an opinion piece, even though it's turning into an opinion piece, let's be honest. So let's move on to the 15th of January, where we got new capital ships, those being bodyguard dreadnoughts. These came in with new close-in defence guns and associated skills, which were quite entertaining at first, because every so often you see like a threat to the AFK cargo interceptor, whereby, you know, some new mechanic comes along and people start popping them out the sky, and then a patch comes along and they stop popping out the sky. I think this might have been considered a threat to the AFK cargo scepters. I don't know, I haven't been paying attention, so I don't know if these things can actually get damage on you before you warp away in your less than 1 second alignment time, because these things can shoot without you locking onto a target. That's the point of these things. They shoot without you having to lock onto things. And each one has different criteria. We're not going to get into the different criteria because it's literally up on screen somewhere as I'm scrolling. So yeah, you can pause it, read the finer details if you want. For the rest of this patch, we've got new ships, being the Concorde's Destroyer Allegiance, with its Bombard Tactics module. And we also got, based off of that very own ship, more lightweight ships for the versatile assault carriers. Is that right? I honestly can't remember. Anyway, we also got new general units, an implant reset feature, and some balance adjustments, which are somewhere down this page, if I haven't scrolled past it already. But hey ho, there we go. There we are. There's our balance adjustments. So let's move on to the 26th of February. Yay, that one. We want that one. So with this one, we got new implant units, new anomaly, advanced Inquisitor cosmic anomaly. So remember how the Inquisitor anomaly got removed at some point because it was essentially the same as the Scout? Well, they replaced it with the advanced Inquisitor anomaly. I've not actually read it yet, but regular difficulty with different levels. Let us know in the comment section below how similar it is to the original Inquisitor anomaly. I'm going to be moving past it for now. We also saw some freighter buffs, some balance updates, usual optimizations, bug fixes, skin optimization. Yeah, let's move along. Oh yeah, added station external effects for the Soaring Dragon skin on Corporation Outpost and Capsuleer Outpost. I do love the look of that skin, but the fact that my phone screen is like glowing orange with that dragon animation every single time I undock kind of gets annoying after a while, because that's all you see, like in front of your ship, just this big orange tail just waving in front of it. I'm like, I don't want to look at this dragon. I want to look at my ship. I want to look at the nanocore, the skin, the effort I put into it, not the wavy dragon. Anyway, let's move along. Let's move along from another potential rant, because this is not a ramble video. Although, if I find the time, I might end up doing some ramble videos, because we're seeing a lot of updates, a lot of content, a lot of balance optimizations. I'm getting the impression that in this past 12 months, a lot has been done to the game. It's not quiet like it used to be. Like balance adjustments, we didn't see them very often before. But anyway, here's an interesting one that caught my attention earlier. So, 12th of March 2025, we got the Nanocore Data Bank and rented hangars. Both of them are Duo Omega only exclusive, which means that you've got to pay 500 plex a month to, unlock this particular feature. So basic players like me, because I'm currently on free-to-play, grinding to do the basic Omega thing, because, yeah, money is slightly, a concern at the moment with the amount going out the door. So Duo Omega, you can now upload and store nanocores, so you don't have to transport them from A to B and get destroyed in the middle and have your kill mail just shared all over YouTube and Discord for carrying stupid stuff in your cargo. Don't have to worry about that anymore. If you're Duo Omega, you can just upload it to a special digital vault and just download it at the other end. You're fine. We also have rented hangars. So this, based on what I'm reading, is your station containers, but it's exclusive to Duo Omega players, and it costs 4 million ISK per week to sustain. Not sure how much I like the Duo Omega aspect of this, but let's move along before I turn it into a ramble. There's probably like 10 rambles I could have done by this point in the video. So we also have the new Doomsday weapon, the Annihilator. Let's see if we can scroll down to where it's mentioned without scrolling past it, as my brain tends to do. Here we go. Thunderstrike Disruptive Lance. Annihilate. Okay, I got the wording a little bit wrong on my spreadsheet, but never mind, who cares? So we got a more advanced Annihilator Doomsday weapon called the Thunderstrike, which is more destructive and releases arcs that neutralizes the target ship's capacitor. Oh, I like this. I like this. So it does damage and it interrupts the capacitor. I like this for capital warfare. I know if it's a smaller ship, it's just going to blow up anyway, but for capital warfare, I like this. I like this. We also have other bug fixes and balance adjustments, but we're going to skip past that now because we have another ramble-inducing update, which is, drumroll please, Mining AI Core Preview. And I might have just knocked the desk a little bit there. Sorry if the camera shook a little bit. So, Mining AI Core Preview. Yeah, for this update, we just got a preview. And maybe it was Netease testing the water, wanting to know if we'd all quit the game before it got released. I don't know. But for this one, that's all it was. Just a preview. You can read it up on screen if you want, but most of it's not really relevant. We can skip ahead to the 26th when they actually released it, alongside a bunch of other things. So yes, as of the 26th of March, you can now go out and mine completely AFK in high-sec and null-sec. You literally just undock, press the AI button in your mining ship, and just watch it go mining. Now, of course, you do have to set your mining base, and it has probably resulted in a lot more Covetor 2s getting outright destroyed in null-sec, because the AI, as you'd expect, doesn't look at local. It doesn't look for hostiles. It doesn't dock up when there's an enemy in system. It just carries on mining. It still requires you to be kind of nearby to just keep an eye on things, to make sure that if there's a neutral in system, that you are docked up. That is your responsibility still. So yeah, if you want to use this feature without looking at the screen, go to high-sec. But that said, in terms of ISK per hour, you might as well be just AFK ratting, AI ratting, whatever you want to call it, in high-sec at that point. Moving on before I lose my voice, because I've got about 2 months worth of content left to get through still, and I'm losing my voice, and I don't appear to have left anything decent nearby. Hold on. A cold flask of tea might have to be enough. Yay for uncut, fresh, raw content, whatever you want to call it. So, with this one, we had an update to Ethereum Reach. I honestly can't remember when Ethereum Reach was released. So, was it released here? Or was it already available for an entire year? I think it was already available. I'm just losing all concept of time at this point with Eve Echoes because of how little attention I've been able to pay it. So, Corporation Outposts can now anchor. SOV updates, Capsuleer Outposts can now anchor, that being the Scout variants. Close-in defense guns were updated, if I can find it on the page here. Blah, blah, blah. Where were the close-in guns? Here we go. So the versatile gun can now shoot ships and fighters. Anti-ship can only shoot ships, and the light one can only shoot at fighters. So now you can fit the right gun for the right ship class you want to be shooting at. So if you just want to be like parked up next to a carrier, shooting down enemy fighters as they come in, then you just go with the light one. But hey ho. Next up, we have advanced units for implants, that being multi-frequency crystal and kinetic burst. I believe they're the ones for the new implants that we were discussing earlier on. We're not going to be going into the finer details. If you want to look it up, it's literally on screen right now. Moving on, we have the research series for nanocores. This one caught my eye because it completely passed me by, this one. I've not even seen people talking about it. What appears to be the case here is, as you may be well aware, it's difficult to get nanocores for your capital ships. Even the people that play the game and pay an absurd amount of money to get the capital ship nanocores, they're not getting much. Like, they're only getting a nanocore, every few months? And even then, when you spend, say, I don't know, £100, £200, £300, whatever it is, when you spend a ridiculous amount of time and money on a nanocore for a capital ship, the last thing you want to do is then just throw it in the bin to train up the other nanocore that you're actively using for the whole golden, attribute bonus increases, whatever. So what they've done here is for dreadnoughts, carriers, and weirdly enough battleships, they've introduced research series nanocores. These don't have any secondary attributes, so it's not intended for you to fit them. I don't know if you can fit them or not, but the purpose of these existing is for you to then just dismantle them, upload their contents to the AI system and train the golden core secondary attributes, whatever you want to call them. So I do like where they're going here. Now, how to obtain: purchase from the store's hot selection, which is available for a limited time. I'm just going to check on my phone right now just to see if it's still there in the hot section. Probably isn't, but let's have a look, shall we? So that's an implant, blah blah blah, implant, material bundle, intelligent nanocore. That looks way too cheap to be it. What's this one here? This is for a battleship, soaring dragon, marshal. This does not look like it. No. Okay, so that looks like it was event exclusive, quite possibly. Unless I look at this soaring dragon one. What's this? No. Okay, so I've had a look on here. I can't find it. Maybe my dyslexia is getting the better of me, but I honestly can't find it on here. So these are quite possibly event exclusives. I'd prefer it if they weren't, because it fills a void in the game. There is a genuine need for research series nanocores, and I don't like them being timed exclusive. But hey ho, let's move along, shall we? So next up we have the 9th of April, and from here on out I won't need to click through new pages because the remainder are all on the same page. So 9th of April we got the implant quick switch, which costs us 50 durability, has a 3-minute cooldown, and is not usable in combat. Of course there's more to it than that, but we're trying to keep things simple because this video has probably already gone on longer than I expected it to. We also have balance updates, which appear to be for drone manufacturing, capital ship blueprint reverse engineering. We've got other stuff here, other balance updates. Looks like logistics related stuff. So yeah, feel free to pause or go to the actual page yourself. Most of this is just bug fixes, optimizations, balance adjustments, yada yada yada. So let's move on to the 23rd of April. New capital ships, Navy issue carriers, new module, quantum entanglement generator. I like the look of this, the quantum entanglement generator. Well, we'll start off with the Navy issue carriers. So we've got new Navy issue carriers. All of the other capital ships have been getting like upgraded variants, whether it was the Dreadnought or the Jump Freighter. Well, the freighter to the Jump Freighter. The actually, technically, the carrier did get its own upgrade in the form of the Versatile Assault carrier, didn't it? Oh well, ignore what I just said there. This is supposed to be just an upgraded version of the regular carriers. But they also come with quantum entanglement generators. What do they do? I'm glad you asked because I've kind of forgotten already. Let's be honest. So, quantum entanglement generator. It's a new mid-slot module that pairs with a target. The entanglement activates instantly but is influenced by distance. The closer the ships, the stronger the effect. Once linked, the damage and repair effects between the ships are partially synchronized or reversed. So the idea I'm getting here is you can link up two ships and just have it so that if damage occurs on one, it gets spread out with the second. And if one of them gets repaired, that also gets spread out to the second. So kind of a new capital level logistics system. Yeah, I like the idea of that. And of course, there's a new way to nullify it as well. We have balance updates and a new potential feature that they haven't implemented yet, to my knowledge, which is to prevent bot accounts. They're going to introduce captures into the game. Yeah, I hate captures. Bit of a ramble topic here, and yeah, I can't restrain myself from this one. Have you ever had one of those really difficult captures where it says select like 6 images that have fire hydrants in them, and you look at yourself and you go, my country doesn't effing have fire hydrants. So you like you kind of know what they look like, so you click most of them, but you miss one because you don't have them in your own country. So you're only aware of some of the like designs, you know, just stupid stuff like that. If they do captures, it's got to be something universal that isn't like country specific. Please, Netease, don't make it country specific. People will fail the capture. Just genuinely, they will just fail the capture. I'm sure I saw at one point captures got that bad and AI's that good that they were able to complete captures that human beings struggled to complete, if that makes sense. Yeah. Captures can be a good solution, but please get it right. Please. Moving on to the 7th of May, before I carry on begging Netease, we have a new region, the Malpai system, or Malpais. How do we pronounce this one? I've not been watching videos on YouTube. I don't know how other people are pronouncing it. But however we pronounce it, this one's intriguing. So the first bit that caught my attention was this line here. The Waste Seekers appear weaker than those in other areas and do not carry warp disruption modules. So this is meant to be like an easier version of, not Ethereum Reach, what's the other one? The one I got stuck in January of last year. The name will come back to me. Oh God, what was it? It was the first one that you needed filaments to get into. Leave me a comment in the comment section reminding me of that region, because I did a whole video on it. My brain has like been losing data when it comes to Eve Echoes related stuff this past year. I've had to like pour so much other related stuff in, it's ridiculous. But anyway, you get in and out via filaments. Passive damage after 1 hour. That's an interesting one. Let's scroll down to where it talks about that. Corrosive dust. If you're in the region for more than 1 hour, you start taking damage passively. So the idea is supposedly that it's some form of quick content. You don't stay in there indefinitely. You don't camp stargates in your capital ships or whatever ships you get in there with. I don't actually think you can get there in capital ships, but that was just the first example that popped into my mind. We have insurance updates in here as well. And actually, before we go on to my favourite bit, we'll talk about the target analyzer. So in EVE Online, you're actually able to scan an enemy ship and be able to determine maybe what modules they're carrying, what's in their cargo hold, stuff like that. In this game now, we have the ability to increase the odds of modules, cargo, or wrecks dropping, depending on which of these analyzers you're actually running against the enemy. So, if you come up against somebody flying, I don't know, a Science C, and you want capital debris, just make sure you're running the target structure analyzer to increase the odds of getting that structure, that debris. Of course, you might want to go cargo or module because they might be carrying, wealthy stuff. It's a rock, paper, scissors. This is a rock, paper, scissors, but as is all of it. But we'll move on to my favourite part of this update, if I can find it, which is the Sun Chaser jump system update. Yay! At the very start of my channel, I did a ramble video. This was long before they even did Black Ops. And that entire ramble video was about the Sun Chaser jump system, about how with just a few tweaks, removing a couple of limitations, this system could actually be useful. Because for those of you that don't know, originally there was a handful of systems across high sec and low sec that you could jump to. A handful. Netease literally just hand-picked a few systems and said, these are the ones you can jump to. And then they gave the jump system a range of somewhere around like 3 light years. So you were always within, say, I don't know, 5 or 6 jumps of that system to start with. So you weren't making enormous leaps. And you couldn't make those leaps to many systems. It didn't get used. It didn't get used. People did videos on it to showcase how to use it, and then forgot about it because it had no purpose within the game. Now, you still can't jump to nullsec or from nullsec using this system, but all Empire systems, high sec and low sec, have been opened up for the jump for the Sun Chaser navigation system. And in case you're wondering on how to get a hold of this system, it's in certain nanocores. I think the most common one is probably like the anniversary nanocore or the golden... Is it the golden age? I don't know. I'm honestly losing track of these things. It's in certain nanocores anyway. If you do pick it up on a nanocore, you're best off going for one of the ones where it's a secondary attribute. You don't want to go wasting a primary attribute on this. Hell, I have it on my Coveter 2, which I was hoping to use as a emergency jump system to, cross from one nullsec system to another nullsec system. Let's say hostiles are inbound and there's a mining op 8 jumps away that I want to attend, and I don't want to jump gate to gate, and there's no jump bridge connecting those. I'd just use my jump chaser, my Sun Chaser nanocore. That's the idea I had for doing that, but we still can't jump in nullsec anyway. But it does say it may be possible to activate the system in nullsec systems in the future. So they are considering applying that update to the Sun Chaser nanocore. Only time will tell on that one. Again, we have balance updates, yada yada yada. That's a lot of numbers for me to bore you with. So we're going to move on to the very last and most recent patch, which I kind of feel like not putting in the video because it's that recent that you've probably already heard this if you're on YouTube watching other people's content, maybe Echoes of New Eden, etc, etc. But we'll cover it anyway because this is an entire year's roundup right here. And I'm just going to grab another quick drink because my voice is definitely going. I'm definitely not recording a second video tonight, that's for sure. Otherwise, I'll be croaking when I get into work in the morning. So, last up we have new modules. I'll try not to scroll all over the place. So, these were announced in the previous patch notes, but were not actually released until this patch. Don't ask me why they did that, but they actually got released in this particular patch. So alongside them we had new Capital 2 rigs. Yeah, capital 2, so we can now have type 2 capital rigs. Huzzah for, yeah, more expensive capitals. We got new integrated rigs, those being 4P compat integrated modules, which had a attribute efficiency of 80%, needed 12 rigs to be able to set them up, so ridiculously expensive. And if I can remember how these work correctly, you get 4 slots for your rigs, as in you get to choose 4 different rigs at the same time. I'm assuming I'm remembering that correctly. So ridiculously expensive, and it is achieved by scanning the highest level relics. I don't know what it's talking about here. Is it talking about the event, the relic? We covered this earlier in the video. I've already forgotten. So much stuff, isn't there, in 1 year? It's ridiculous. Relics scramble. So either we're talking it's an exploration thing, or you get it from Relic Scramble. It'll be one or the two. Knowing the devs, it's probably Relic Scramble. But just watch someone else's video, they'll have the answer, guaranteed. Moving on, we have the Integrated Rig Precise Dismantling Service. You can now use the dismantling service to revert integrated rigs back to their unintegrated state. It requires a service fee in the form of ISK. It's suitable for dismantling advanced rigs. For basic rigs, it's recommended to use the existing standard dismantling and packaging service. I don't know how much this costs, and I don't think I have a single ship that has integrated rigs, because I don't want to lose like half my ship's value every time it's destroyed. So I don't think I'll even be able to test this one without spending a ridiculous amount of ISK. So hey ho, let's move along. We have new advanced implant units. Hooray. I don't think I've ever used advanced implant units yet. Again, part of my semi-vacation from Eve Echoes. There's a lot of stuff I haven't dipped my toes in yet. So if you're wondering why I've not done tutorials yet for anything, it's because I'm out of date. I really am. And speaking of out of date, we have the brand new returnee mission system. So now that you've returned to the game, now that you've had an entire 1 year's worth of roundup and like updates and refreshers, and now you're aware of everything that you've missed out on, provided you've not been gone from the game for more than a year, you now have all of this to help you get back into the game. What is all of this? Repair costs are reduced, so if you're driving around pressing the wrong buttons and getting blown up by the wrong people, doesn't matter. Your repair costs... Oh, actually, repair costs and insurance aren't the same thing, are they? Never mind me. But if you fly away in 10% hull, it will cost you nothing. It will cost you nothing. Rewards are increased for encounter missions. Manufacturing time is reduced by 10%. That's nice. That's a nice little one. Yeah, you can read the rest here. We're not going to read out the entire thing. But that's it. That is wow, there's a lot more. Oh yeah, we had the strengthened anti-cheat penalty announcement. That one was funny. That one was funny. This is more of a community one here. But there's this 5% rule that Cloud kind of accidentally set off, whereby if your cheating contributes more than 5% to the outcome of a encounter, like a fleet battle or something, then you get fined. If it didn't contribute 5%, then you're okay. It's a weird one. But anyway, the official rules are here that you can read up on the screen right now. If you want to hear more about it, just check out like the latest or second latest Echoes of New Eden podcast. Yeah, that kind of depends on if they go live tonight before I upload this video. But hey ho, that is everything. That is an entire year's worth of patches and updates and content releases that you might have missed out on. I know I missed out on most of this, and the sheet on the right hand side of the screen I actually put together because I was out of date. I was that far out of date that I had to put that together just so I knew what I was talking about. So that when I logged into the game, I knew what people were talking about. I knew what was there, you know. So this video is to save you from going through all of that pain. And I have just realised this video was a lot of pain. For you, I mean. Definitely a lot of pain for you. We're at 50 minutes. We are at 50 minutes. Why are you still listening to me? The video's over. Anyway, joking aside, if you're still here, hit that subscribe button. I can't promise to be uploading a great many videos for the next few months because work on the house is still rolling forwards. But once the house is in a state that I can actually live in it, because I'm still currently at the old place, the old place being me parents, but hey ho. Once I've moved in, that'll be it. That'll be me unleashed to YouTube. That'll be me unleashed to Eve Echoes. That'll be me unleashed to Discord or whatever it is that I have a passion in at that point in time. But until then, you know, work is going to carry on the house. I've not gone anywhere. I'm still here. I'm still playing the game. I'm still keeping a loose eye on things. And I'm still like actively excited to do YouTube videos. I just need that little bit of time to do YouTube videos. But anyway, so if you want to support me in this channel, just carry on hitting that subscribe button, watch any of the older videos if they're useful to you, and leave a comment in the comment section if there's any like quick little videos you want me to do. I can't guarantee I'll find the time to do them, but if they're quick enough and I've got the time, I will find a way to, you know, get that video out there. But in the meantime, thanks again for watching, everybody, and see you in the next video. Hopefully it won't be next year. Fly casual.